What's going on, everyone? It's Mike, it's John back again, and John has got sophisticated. We are currently sat in Goodison Park. It's freezing. It's no, I'm joking. I'm joking. But yeah, I mean, you can see he's got his green screen up. If he moves a bit quick, then you'll see the green. I've got no doubt, but we're doing it. John, there you go. There it is. I can see it. There you go. Um, let's we need to talk about these owners and things and these deals, but I actually want to start with Branthwaite and something that broke a little bit later yesterday about Manchester United. Looks like they're very confident they're going to sign Branthwaite, but then a lot of people were talking about, well, we'll accept the point deduction and we keep him. So what's your take?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. To keep a player of Branthwaite's calibre, you probably would take another point deduction because we've got away with two this season and we still stayed up. But I know he's not going to push for a move. Obviously we haven't heard anything like that. He would have been happy to play another season at Everton. Let's hope that's the case, by the way. We'd love to see him at Everton next season. Love to see him at Bramley-Moore, playing at Bramley-Moore, but I think it's going to be taken out of his hands. Now, it's taken out of the fans' hands saying we take a point deduction instead of losing them, but it is going to be taken out of his hands. I think that the price that's being mentioned is 75 million quid. Now, I think us as Evertonians have always said he's worth more than that. They signed Harry Maguire for £80 million. I think it'll be 75 million if the figure is to be believed with add-ons, and it'll probably push it up to more like 90, 100 million with add-ons. But you see, for Branthwaite's sake, I'd like other clubs to come in for him as well, because we know what Man United have been like the last couple of years, and there is big clubs out there. Man United are a big club, but we are only hearing that there's one club interested in Jarrett Branthwaite at the minute, and I'd like to see other clubs come in for him, other clubs that are probably going to challenge for trophies and challenge for European trophies and Premier Leagues and or leagues abroad. One of them teams come in for him, he's probably got more chance of winning something somewhere else than going to Man United at this stage in his career. So for his sake, I hope there is other clubs that come in for him. Obviously not for our sake, because we want him to stay. But I think at the minute, Man United will probably be the wrong move for Jarrett Branthwaite. Let him go somewhere where he's going to win trophies, because I think we all know Man United are quite far behind the top teams in the league at the minute. Your Arsenals, your Man Cities. Man United aren't going to challenge for anything at the minute. So let's hope someone does come in for him and gives them that move where he can challenge for trophies straight away.
Do you know, you've literally just hit the nail on what I was going to say. I actually will go further than that. I actually believe that if he goes to Manchester United and they don't improve, they don't fix up, which I don't think they will. I think that club, unfortunately, while they keep messing around with Mickey Mouse managers and Mickey Mouse directors of football, and they don't bring in a manager that demands respect from day one, which is, in my honest opinion, that the person that fixes Manchester United is unfortunately Carlo Ancelotti. I think he fixes Man United. Until that happens, I actually think this will be a waste of Jarrett Branthwaite's career. And I actually will give you the similarity of the reason why I think that. And his name was Phil Jones. Phil Jones was brilliant at Blackburn, or I think it was. He signs for Manchester United. He's the standout for maybe 1 or 2 years, or he looks good for 1 or 2 years. And in the end, his career is absolutely destroyed by Manchester United. I'm not saying he didn't earn loads of money, and I'm not saying he wasn't a decent defender, of course. But by the end of it, most people were taking the piss out of him. And Jarrett Branthwaite could easily be the best English centre half we have had in years. He's tall, he's going to get stronger, he's quick, he can play the ball out from the back. He is a commanding centre half that could have his career absolutely decimated by going to Manchester United. For me, the manager and the team, if you're on about leaving Everton, who, by the way, have got a very good defensively sound manager who will teach him how to defend. They're the second best partnership in the league for a reason, and they're the best English centre half pairing. Full stop. So it's an absolute joke that neither of them are in that Euro team. But they, in my opinion, they should be the two starting. And I'll be straight. I know people love Stones, but that is my opinion. If you want clean sheets and solidity at the back, you stick them two in the middle. No problem. But that's my opinion. But the facts are, he goes to Man United. I worry about his legacy. He'll be paid well. He'll do well. But I don't know if it's the right thing for him. I really don't.
Well, when you look at Man United at the minute, Michael, there's no stability at the club. We still don't know what's happening with the manager. I think I'm pretty right in saying, correct me if I'm wrong, that the director of football that they've gone after is still on garden and leave. So they haven't got a director of football in place. Jim Ratcliffe's come in and he's upsetting a lot of staff within the club, sending emails. If you don't want to work from home, then you'll be no longer. If you don't want to come into the offices, whether it be in Manchester, whether it be in London, you're not working from home anymore. You won't have a job. So he's come in, and the thing that he should be concentrating more on is making a decision on the manager, doing his best to get the director of football in. But yeah, they're going to take the best English talent for a long, long, long time, in my opinion, will be better than John Stones. And they're trying to get him from Everton to sign for their club when we don't know what's going on there. And this is the problem. This is where I feel for Jared Branthwaite, because as I said at the beginning of the video, we need other teams to come in for his sake, to go to a club where they can challenge straight away, where there's a manager, a settled squad, a director of football who are going to challenge to win things. Because he could go there, and we all know, well, looking at the situation with Man United, it could be another 3-4 years before they're consistently challenging again. Now, if he goes there on a 5, 6, 7 year contract, whatever it may be, Jared Branthwaite could easily waste the next 3 years of his career by going to Man United. And this isn't sour grapes against Man United, because you're after the best centre half that the club's produced for a long, 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 long time. The best English centre half that we've seen for a long, long, long time. It's not sour grapes towards Man United, and they're trying to take him. I'm talking about the situation Jared Branthwaite's getting put in. So I think it's not going to be about the money for Jared Branthwaite. He doesn't come across, he's that sort. He's got a long, long, long time to go in his career to make all the money he wants. He'll still be paid handsomely at Everton compared to what we're on. But just hang fire. If Man United start throwing stupid offers at us that aren't even worth entertaining, and we haven't got to sell, and we all know this 31st of June rule, and you know we've got to help towards PSR. Get rid of Anana. Anana's more replaceable than Jared Branthwaite. Cut the wage bill. Let some of the fringe players go. Keep Jared Branthwaite for another 12 months. Then he can see what the situation is at Man United. And then if he's going to go in 12 months' time, it might be on a more stable footing, that club. But at the minute, I think he'd be wasting 2 or 3 years of his career.
I also think, you're asking him to go there, right? And, if you're talking about who's going to be the centre half pairing. So is it going to be Maguire and Branthwaite, Martinez and Branthwaite? Varane, I think, is gone. So who's Branthwaite going to learn from? Whereas at the minute he is playing alongside someone that does speak to him on the pitch, that you do see give instructions. You do see him tapping Tarkowski and having that chat. I think this move for him. And look, if he's pushed out of Everton by Everton, then it's a disgrace because it's the position that we've got ourselves in. But the facts are, I think this is the wrong thing to do for him.
At the wrong time. I think it's the wrong move at the wrong time for him. And as you quite rightly say, if you look at the partnership he's got with Tarkowski, I think Tarkowski's a better centre half than what Harry Maguire is. And as you quite rightly said earlier on in the video, He's got a manager there who can set defenses up, who can teach defenses, who can teach individuals how to play better, how to read the game, when to bring the ball out, when it's safe to do so. And as you said before, he can read the game. He's capable of bringing the ball out. He chips in with goals, whether it be with his head. We see him one at Goodison, he scored with his foot. Just give it 12 months. If Everton are in that situation, and it's possible for the club to do that, and we get rid of other players to sort of appease the PSR situation that we're in, see what it's like in 12 months for him with the Man United. But unfortunately, I think it's going to be taken out of Everton's hands. But I do think he'll be wasting 2 or 3 years. And again, as I said, it's not sour grapes because Man United won him. I'm thinking of him.
Yeah, and let's think in 12 months' time, right? So we're changing subject, but we're kind of not changing subject there. Let's think ahead in 12 months' time. Everton go into a brand new state-of-the-art stadium with new owners who we understand, whoever it is, will have millions and millions and millions and millions of pounds available to either spend, use, create a team that is forward thinking, aggressive, fast, wanting to challenge. I'm not saying Everton all of a sudden are more attractive than Manchester United. I'm not. But we're not as bad as we are now. So in 12 months' time, Jared Branthwaite would be at a football club that looks and is very, very different to current day. Now, if I was Jared Branthwaite, I think I'd want to stick around for that.
The thing is, I think he knows players hear stuff, and I think he knows more than obviously fans that the club is changing. There's going to be new owners. We've got a new ground on the horizon. The commercial side of it's going to be better. The people who come in are going to run the club like a business. It won't be a job for the boys. Players know this. Players read what we read. Players find out more than what we do. And I think this is why Jared Branthwaite hasn't once said it's time that he left Everton to further his career. He hasn't come out and said that. And if rumours and media clips that you see, whether it be on social media, that if Jared Branthwaite doesn't get a move, he is happy to stay at Everton next season. That's what we want to hear, if that's true. And that is only because what you've just said, and you've hit the nail on the head. We all know the club's going to get bought and it's going to get taken over. Whoever that may be by, God only knows. But things are moving. We've got the new ground. We've got one more season at Goodison. The club will progress. And I'm not saying these new owners will come in and we can go out and splash millions and millions and millions of pounds, because we can't. Look at Newcastle, the richest club in the world. Looks like they have to sell Ramirez or someone like that to satisfy the PSR that they're struggling with. So our new owners aren't going to come in and splash the cash round. But it's stability at the club. The club will be run better. The group of people who comes in will bring people in to sit in the stands, to run the everyday running of the club better than what it's been. And that can only be good for top talents that are at any football club. And I think we've got one of the best top talents out of any football club in the Premier League. And maybe that's what he's sitting on and he's not pushing for a move.
Yep, I think you're spot on. Let's talk about 12 months' time then, John. Let's talk about Everton's potential new owners. There's various different people involved. Understanding and rumours are that the Crystal Palace co-owner, Texter, has pulled out of proceedings following a conversation with Mashiri. Don't quite know what happened there, but apparently it was fairly heated. I don't know what happened, but that's just what I read on Twitter, so don't think I'm making this up. It might be complete nothing, but so Texter's out, which essentially means there's a few groups, but we got the details of a particular one that involves a London-based businessman. I can't pronounce his name. I think it's Vichinai Manarchy, something like that. However, part of his interesting bid is that he's got backers from both the Gulf, which is, you know, the Arab Emirates and various countries, and America. So, commercially, this is a man that can link us quite well with various different people, countries, globally, would be really useful. And then on the other hand, the other bit that we've got, more details have come out around it. And I've read a few bits about how much Michael Dell's involvement would be, and it looks like actually he wouldn't be involved. From what I read, it looks like it's part of an investment company that he co-owns, is my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong, Twitter, by all means. But it does include putting the debt onto the stadium, which is what we sort of said. What's your take on the new bid, John?
Well, I think we were very excited on the video the other night when the news started to come out about Bell and Downing. And obviously, we all thought he was getting backed by Mr. Bell. And it seems to have deflated me a bit, that news come out last night that they're going to put the debt on the stadium. And there was a few comments after we'd done the video the other night saying, don't get too overexcited. And looking back now in hindsight, I think we did.
We're in the money. We're in the money.
And listen, this is what rumours and this is what Everton Football Club do to you, isn't it? They build you up and build you up like a buttercup, and then they drop you down. The Gulf one's interesting, isn't it? With also the Americans as well. They're going to come in. Quite excited about that one, to be honest with you, because I think commercially, listen, it'd be great to have Everton fans who own the club, because they know what it means to be an Everton fan. They're there every week or every other week at Goodison Park cheering the team on. So it'd be great to have someone involved in the club like Bell and Downing. But then when you read things, if it's true that they're going to put the debt onto the stadium, I think from day one, me, you, and a lot of Everton fans have always said we don't really want to be in that situation, because we've had enough debt in years gone by put on the club by a certain Mr. Mashiri. So if we can get this other fella coming in, you try. What was his name again? Did you say?
No chance.
The fella who's got the Americans and the Gulf people behind him. We'll just say that. That seems like a better thing to go with, like a better model to go with. But then we might see something later on today that they're going to put the debt onto the club, you know, and until Mashiri enters a period of exclusivity, which in my opinion will happen within the next 7 days. I think it'll be with one of these groups. If it's to be believed that Bell and Downing are going to start putting debt onto the stadium, maybe the interest will cool there and he will go with this other person with the Gulf and the Americans behind them. But I think the worry we've got, Michael, as Everton fans, right, is, listen, Bashiri's not asked who he sells this club to anymore. He's give up on the club. He's walked away from the club. He's only going to look after his best interests.
Yeah.
Now, if Bell and Downing offer him the money that he wants in one lump sum payment, sound nice one, lad. See you, the club's yours. That's what Mashiri will do. But then you'll have the other people who we've just been speaking about. Then they might say, well, we're not going to give you how much you want because there's debts to be paid. The ground's still got to be finished. We're not prepared to come in and go bang, clear it all off. Mashiri's then got a decision to make, hasn't he? Because there's other people involved as well. I think MSP is still circling as well.
There is. So there's a couple of other people I can't remember his name. I'm sitting here thinking of it. I've read it just before we come on, but he's
Is
worth
it the
£6
Roma owner?
billion.
The Roma owner?
Yeah. Now again, you're talking about, you know, more than the money side of it. Is we need someone who is business minded and take this club forward. And you know, MSP and ACAP apparently. My issue with all of these bits is they all appear to be groups. They all appear to be caveats. There all appears to be. There isn't one
Consortium.
person going, I'm going to give you £500 million for the football team, right off the debts, and I'm the man in charge. There isn't a Roman Abramovich. There isn't they're all groups of people.
But the thing that the problem you've got there with what you're saying, Michael, is that doesn't really happen in football anymore. Ted Bolly's got people behind him. You know.
Yeah, I'm not saying they don't.
Manchester City are part of the. Is it the Sutton Investment Fund? You know.
No, that's Newcastle. But yeah.
So you know, when you look at it now, all these people who are coming into football now, it's very, very rare you get one man.
My point is, what happens with these groups if people fall out, things change, one person wants to put money in but the other doesn't? Look, I'll be happy no matter what, obviously, because
it can't be any worse than what we've put up with Mashiri, right? But the Roma owner's worth £6 billion. Now, since Mashiri's coming to Everton, I think you told me this figure the other week, Mashiri's carries on making more and more and more and more and more money, not from Everton, but he's now worth £4 billion, Mashiri, right?
3.1, I think it is.
Well, 3.1 billion. So it's gone up a bit from when he bought Everton, but not a great deal. Now, wouldn't you think someone who's worth £3.1 billion would be able to bring the right people in to run the club, to get the commercial side of it right? Because you don't get £3.1 billion by being a stupid ass, do you? Do you know what I mean?
No.
But he didn't do that. And this is what I'm saying. These people, whoever it is, do buy Everton, will bring the right people in, we hope, to run the club properly. And going back to what you said before about, you know, if there's a couple of people in the group and one falls out with the other one, when you've got that much money as these groups have, they'll just buy their shares and go, well, see you then. If you don't want to be involved in it, I'll just buy shares off you.
I hope so, mate. I hope so. I mean,
you know, it does happen. It does happen. But do you know what I can't get my head around, Michael? Why all of a sudden are they all coming out the woods? Where did they want to buy a football club?
Well, if you remember, and I was thinking about this as well, I think it was about 6 to 8 weeks ago, news come out that I think Mashiri had appointed, I think it was Deloitte, to try and find new buyers of Everton Football Club. So my question is, why didn't this happen in the first place?
Because it's Farhad Mashiri. Doesn't know his ass from his elbow.
And the other thing that doesn't really make sense to me, right, is we can park 777 clearly. We can park them, right? But we owe them £220 million. Who's paying that?
I think. See, you're better with the figures. Didn't you say something like it could be put onto equity? I don't know. I don't understand that.
It won't, because whoever buys the club isn't going to want to do that. They're not.
Whoever buys the club, so what you're saying here, I don't know. I'm just asking the question here. Whoever buys the club are going to have to come in and clear all these debts off in one spot.
Not necessarily. They're not going to necessarily have to clear them, but they're going to have to arrange for them to be paid over time. You know, they're going to have to, and this is the thing. Then we're not any better from a PSR standpoint. So whoever comes into the club, for me, has to provide an owner-backed loan which pays off all of the creditors. And the creditors is MSP, Rights and Media, AJ Bell, and 777. And I can even go through the numbers. 777, 220 million. AJ Bell, 100 million. MSP, 160 million. Rights and Media, 225 million.
Do you know, if a big businessman comes in with billions and billions and billions and billions of pounds, we've spoke on here before about consolidating the loans and getting one big loan, right? If we get a rich Arab in, can they still do that? Would they still do that? Would they go to the bank and go, give us a loan for 600 million quid, right?
No, because if you remember, when Farhad Moshiri came into Everton, he gave the club a loan.
So these would have to loan the club to pay them back?
Yeah.
Whoever comes in?
In my mind, yes.
But it'll be less interest than what we're paying now, won't it?
But I like to think it'd be no interest. I just don't. That's the bit I'm not getting. And my understanding is that the George Downing and Andy Bell offer, the finance, the 350 million pound, which is being put on the stadium, is being paid for by the investment company that Michael Dell owns. So he's agreed to put the money in, essentially. But all we're doing is giving him, essentially, if we don't pay it back, he gets 350 million pounds worth of stadium.
I think Bell and Downing are going to do their figures properly, aren't they? As we said before, they're Everton fans. They don't want to put us in the situation that we find ourselves in with Farhad Moshiri. They are going to do it right. Apparently, from what you read on social media, the money's in place to buy Everton from the Everton fans. The money's there. Whether it's all their money or, again, as you quite rightly say, has it come from a Bell, a Dell investment fund, investment company? Are they helping them? But then that's got to be paid back to them. And this is the situation Everton Football Club are in now, Michael, because Farhad Moshiri's put us in this situation. Regardless whoever comes in, the debts have got to be structured where it gets better and better over years. Because listen, we've said on here, we could be the richest club in the world. It doesn't change overnight. It doesn't improve overnight. It's going to take, it's another 2 or 3 years before Everton can go out and go, oh, we can offer 30, 40, 50 million pounds for this player. It's not going to happen overnight. It's still going to be a long, hard slog for the next 2 years. Do you know what I mean? But the club will be run better. It'll be put on a stable footing to put us in that situation, whereas in 2 or 3 years' time, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. And I think that's all we can aim for. We've got to make sure we're in the Premier League when we leave Goodison Park and go into Bramley-Moore. We need owners in who know what to do. We need people in running the club who know what to do. And the commercial side's got to be a million times better than what it is. The playing side, we've got to stop throwing stupid contracts around. It's a long process to get Everton back. I'm not even going to say challenging or to where we were, because I'm sorry to be downbeat and negative, but that's a long way away. As Everton fans, all we can hope for is year on year, it will improve to what we've had to put up with the last couple of years since Moshiri's come in. And that's all we can hope for. Get the takeover sorted, get into Bramley-Moore in the Premier League, and progress season on season. Stop worrying about the PSR. Stop worrying about points deductions. And slowly but surely, we will get back to where we feel like we're getting our club back. And that's all we can ask for. That's all we want from whoever gets the dance at Everton, whoever comes in and owns the club. That's all we can hope for.
Nailed it. So, hope you've enjoyed the new backgrounds and everything, people. I haven't really got anything else to add to John's statement there. I thought that was very good. It was probably the most articulate I've ever heard John in my life. So, I mean, woo! We played FIFA last night, and me and John absolutely dismantled everyone we played. So
we must have had about 5 people who quit.
This is a calling out. We'll call out. We're gonna call out Ned from Toffee TV, who is a friend of the channel, by the way. So don't think this is nasty at all. We're calling out Ned, me and John, against you and Cam, or you and whoever, you and Ped, whatever. Me and John are here for it, baby. We are here for it. Bring it on, guys.
The
And anyone else, any other content creator that wants it, we are here.
Yeah, the controller's on charge, ready to go. We just got to hit the go button, as Michael said last night, and we're ready.
That was hilarious. I was absolutely losing it because I'd made the run for John to play a little triangle through ball, and he's holding on to the ball, and I'm going, fucking hell, John, press the go button, and he pressed it, and I scored.
But it was press go, and I'm running with the ball. I'm like looking at my controller, thinking, is there an actual go button on this thing? No, what? Looking for it. But yeah, good fun.
So, guys, yeah, we'll leave it there. Hit the like and subscribe button. See you soon. We'll see. Well, to be honest, with the way that the news is at the minute, I mean, it wouldn't be surprising me if you see me and John in the blue hoodies, naked under the table. You know, you just see us every day,
sitting in the Gladys Street,
just freezing.
Yeah. Cheers,
bye, guys. See you soon. Peace.